Hey, Brandon, what did you see from Corey this week? We noticed that he wasn't on the injury report, so he's good to go.
Good to go.
And he looked fine throughout the practices, no limitations.
Yes, he was. He was had a really good week of practice.
And Brandon, there was kind of a memorable moment on the sideline between you and Derwin having a nice conversation. I think you told him, that performance is what I'm used to defensively. What did you notice on the field from that performance that made you say that?
Yeah, I was actually referring to our performance, but specifically how he led us in that performance. What I'm used to is joining up with guys like him that play like him, that lead like him. And I felt like he was fantastic. He's been fantastic all season, but I really felt like he was the engine in that performance in more ways than one. The way we were able to utilize him, and then the way he led us throughout the game, throughout the whole game, and I think our performance reflected his performance. And I felt like us teaming up that we performed well.
And Brandon, I think I asked you maybe a month ago. Maybe your answer hasn't changed too much since then. But throughout this whole process of of guiding this defense and the ups and downs and the highs and lows, was your patience ever really tested? Because you're used to, like you were saying, success against the Rams. With the Rams, what you did with Vic Fangio. So you're used to good defenses and with Derwin James on the field. But was that kind of ever at all kind of tough for you, those highs and lows?
Yeah, Gilbert, I think it's a good question. I think that as a competitor, you're ready for all the different circumstances that you have to face. And I think that for us this year, like I said, it's been a fight for a lot of different reasons. But I think that we've hung tough. And I think the way that I want to be evaluated is, are you maximizing your players? Are you going into the game plans with good processes? Are you practicing well? Are you preparing well? Are you putting these guys in good positions to be successful? And I feel like that's what we've done all season long. And I know that, that's something that I'm really proud of. And I think that we've hung tough. And then last week, we were able to get our guys back and we're able to perform like we did more towards the beginning of the season. But I think performance, it can't be, exclusively looked at just by where you're ranked. I think that you need to be always mindful of, are you maximizing this group regardless of the group? And I think that that's what my mindset was last year with the Rams, when I was with the Bears, when I was at John Carroll, Hutchinson, is, hey, are you maximizing this group? Are you doing your best to prepare these guys to reach their full potential? And I feel like we've done that this year. And I felt like defensively we have hung tough together. And I felt like last week when we were able to get everybody back, I thought you were able to see more what I'm used to seeing, and what our guys are used to seeing when we have our full squad out there. So I've been proud of the way we've hung together this year.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate the insight.
Thank you.
Claudia.
So Brandon, the last time you played the Raiders here at SoFi Stadium, you had a clean game without interceptions or lost fumbles. What would it take to do that again?
Yeah, Claudia, such a big predictor of success, particularly in games like this. And I think for you to compete and play that way from an execution standpoint, it really comes down to assignment, technique, and effort. And I think that's what execution means, is those three things, is knowing your assignment, having command of your technique, and then playing as hard as you can play. And then, I think that in order for you to execute, that you can't do it alone. Every individual has a role, but then you also have to perform as a unit, as a team. And I think that that's going to be the challenge for us on Sunday.
And your defense was able to hold the Raiders passing game under 200 yards and the running game under 50 yards. What was working so well that day, especially because Derek Carr is such a good and experienced quarterback?
Yeah, Derek's having a fantastic season, Claudia, and their weapons. They're getting Darren back, and Jacobs is such a good runner, and Renfro is one of the top receivers in the league, and Edwards. You're talking about Zay Jones. I mean, they've got a lot of pieces there. Deshaun, has got more 60-yard NFL receptions than anyone in NFL history. So Foster Moreau's a heck of a player. And then they've done a really nice job with their line, creating continuity there. And when we played them, Claudia, the first time, I think they were ranked number one in the NFL in total offense. And now I know they're in the top 10 for sure. But when you're in the top 10, you're among the best in the NFL. So and they're of that caliber, and it really starts with Derek. And so it's going to be a heck of a challenge for us. And you got to play team defense when you're playing against an offense as good as this one.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Cam.
Thank you. Hey, good afternoon, Coach.
Hey, Cam.
You just mentioned Zay Jones and obviously Derek Carr. But my question is, Zay Jones is having one of his better seasons in catch percentage and yards per target. What have you seen that enabled him and Derek Carr to develop such chemistry?
Yeah, I played against Zay when he was in Buffalo. Had a lot of respect for him in Buffalo. Had a lot of respect for him coming out. And so been a fan of his game. He's a big target. I think he's an instinctive player. He's a very quarterback-friendly player because he can run the route tree outside and inside, so they can put him in a bunch of different positions, which is a strength of the Raiders. They do a good job moving their pieces around. And then when you have a quarterback like Derek, who is as accurate as he is, I think that a wide receiver like Zay can really express himself to his full potential because Derek is very accurate with the football at all spaces in the field. So Zay has done a very good job for that football team this year.
And Coach, I've been curious about your pregame stadium walks. What's playing in your headphones?
Cam, variety is the spice of life with me. I try to, like most people, just go with the way I'm feeling. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I just try to mix it up, and really just trying to base it how I feel, and kind of go with my staples. And my staples will change, based off the mood. But I'm a variety guy. I think that's the great thing about music is there's so much good music, and I like to try and listen to as much of it as I can.
So it's music for the most part. No.
Yeah, I mean, The Weeknd's got a new album out today. This is really good. I'm a big Weeknd guy. I like being able to lose myself. I like music that takes you someplace, and some people that can really sing. I don't know if you guys know this Andra Day. She's incredible. She takes you places. Just a lot of Florida Georgia Line. They're amazing. I've always loved them. I could go on and on. I'm an old, Jay-Z. I'm more of, I'm 39, so go back to Jay-Z and Tupac and all these people, and Lil Wayne. I go through a bunch of them. Drake. These people are well represented on my list. Maroon 5, they're here in LA. Can't wait to hopefully connect with them. Those are a couple that kind of come to mind as I'm kind of thinking about my playlist.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Yep.
Hopper.
Hey, Brandon. Kyler and Mark Webb, any chance that they will be activated before the game?
Yes, sir. There's definitely a chance. I think Kyler is probably more likely than Mark, but we're going to make those determinations here in the next 24 hours.
Gotcha. Drue Tranquill, how is he this week, and what are you expecting for him?
Yeah, Daniel, he's been at practice all week, and even Wednesday, he was able to participate. So I think he's been ramping up as we've progressed through the week. Had a good day of practice today, so I would anticipate him playing in the football game.
If he is unable to play, would it be Kenneth starting there next to Kaiser?
Yeah, they'll both start in the game with Kaiser.
Gotcha.
Depending on the grouping.
Okay, and then any additions to the COVID list today?
No, sir.
Okay. And then just last thing, you guys get into the playoffs with a win or a tie, and I know there's that whole scenario with if the Jags win, you guys both tie and get in. And obviously it would be against NFL policy to collude and that sort of thing. So I'm just saying, if you guys can get in with a tie, does that change your modeling? Does it change your strategy? Maybe late in a game, down 3, going for a field goal to tie as opposed to, going for a touchdown, that sort of thing, knowing that you get into the playoffs with a tie? Does that affect anything?
Daniel, that's certainly that's a very loaded scenario there. There's a lot there from a variable standpoint, and it's all good conjecture. I think it's worthy consideration. And we're just going to have to wait and see on that. I don't know if I can speak in absolutes. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't think I can speak in absolutes. I think that we'll just have to wait and see if that situation expresses itself, and then we will have to be forced to make a decision, and that'll certainly be a big one. So I guess we'll all just have to wait and see on that one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Couple more. Jeff Miller.
Popper just took my tie game question, so
mean,
I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel and Jeff, you guys know that we're going to try and do everything we can to finish this game and win this game. And I don't think the Raiders or the Chargers are trying to tie in any shape or form. I know that we're both trying to win this game, and we're just going to see what happens. We'll see where fate takes us, but I know that we're going to do everything we can to close it out.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, last one. Joe Reedy.
Okay, Jeff might have yielded his time on this, but I'll bring a scenario up, Brandon. If say it's tied and we get to the 2-minute warning of overtime, and you're in your own half of the field, compared to normal games, would you still be aggressive, or would you be conservative? I mean, would you treat this like any other game, or knowing the stakes involved, does that enter into the equation?
I think it has to. To Daniel's point, I mean, it has to. I mean, I guess that is a real circumstance. It potentially could happen. So I think that, like I said, we'll be evaluating that space and time if and when the time comes. But again, I think what I've always tried to say when it comes to decision making like that is that we're gonna do what's best for our team, and if that's what's best for our team, then that's what we're gonna do. And I think that scenarios like that are what makes the game so special, is that there's a lot that can happen. That's why the NFL is amazing. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And hopefully we'll be well prepared for it.
And then just going back to what you told Rich Eisen on Tuesday, did those discussions ever come up at a coffee shop at the University of Dayton when you were there? Or?
Now, my buddies and I at the University of Dayton, we were more talking about players. We love the NFL draft, my buddies and I. We always had big NFL draft parties, and that was something that all those guys that I was fortunate to team up with that are dear friends of mine, that's where our coffee shop talk normally went in terms of players and we would draft. And, we were from a lot of different areas. A couple of my good friends from Pittsburgh, Chicago, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Detroit. So, that's where most of our coffee shop took us back then.